I knew something was wrong when my rideshare driver glanced at me through the rearview mirror and said, "Damn, man, they really did you dirty." I frowned. "What? Sorry?" He snorted, tilting his head toward my apartment building as we rolled up to the entrance in Austin. "Saw the whole thing go down last week. Thought you were dead or something." My pulse stuttered. "What thing?" He pulled to a stop and gave me a look like I was the dumbest guy alive. "Your folks, the Audi. The guy who drove it off didn't even know how to handle the launch control. Almost crashed into the security gate." Every hair on my body stood up. My family sold my car, and some idiot drove it off like he was stealing a getaway vehicle. I threw a 50 at the driver and bolted inside. The doorman gave me a tight, pitying smile. He knew. The security guard at the desk didn't meet my eyes. He knew. The concierge started to open his mouth, but I was already sprinting toward the elevator. My hands were shaking as I unlocked my apartment, and then I saw it. A single piece of printer paper taped to the fridge. No greeting, no apology, just a text in all caps from my stepmother. "Thanks to your SUV, your sister is finally happy. You should be proud." I stared at it, cold rage curling inside my ribs like barbed wire. Proud. They expected me to be proud. Like I should be grateful they stripped me of the one thing I earned entirely without their help. The walls of my apartment suddenly felt too tight, the air too thin. I ran a hand through my hair, exhaling through my teeth. My mind was already moving, already calculating. Because if they thought I was the kind of man to just roll over and take this, they had no idea what they just unleashed. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't storm into my stepmother's house screaming like some wounded animal. That's what they expected. Instead, I sat down at my desk, cracked my knuckles, and logged into my banking portal. And there it was. A zero balance in the high-yield savings account I'd used for my Audi's maintenance, insurance, and performance mods. Drained. Completely wiped out. A slow, cold smile stretched across my face. They were bold. I'd give them that. Selling my car wasn't enough. They'd gone after my liquid assets, too. And that meant one thing. They hadn't just sold the RSQ-8. They sold it cheap. My fingers moved fast, pulling up local private sales listings. My car was custom. Special order. An RSQ-8 Nardo Grey with the black optics package. There weren't many in the state, let alone the city. Finding it wouldn't be hard. I was still scrolling when my phone vibrated violently against the desk. Incoming call. Stepmother. I let it ring. 2 seconds later, it buzzed again. Incoming call. Dad. Ignored. Then my sister. Then my stepmother again. Then a text popped up. "Why are you ignoring us? Just answer the phone. We need to talk." I almost laughed. Now they needed to talk. I set my phone down, opened my laptop, logged into my Audi Connect account, and right there, blinking on the screen like a beacon of justice, my SUV's GPS coordinates. They hadn't even bothered to deactivate the tracking system. A slow, predatory grin spread across my face as I grabbed my jacket. If they thought this was over, they were very mistaken. I didn't go straight to the address. That would have been stupid. Instead, I parked a block away and watched. The location pinged to a house in a wealthy but tacky suburb. One of those places where every lawn had the same artificial shade of green, and the McMansions looked like they were designed by a realtor who just discovered colonial style. I killed the engine and waited. It didn't take long. First, I saw the car, my car, parked in the driveway like it belonged there. The Nardo Grey body was practically glowing under the streetlights. But it wasn't just sitting there. Someone was inside. Music blared through the open windows, some generic pop song, and the idiot in the driver's seat was drumming his hands on my flat-bottom steering wheel like he was at a red light. I squinted. White Lacoste polo, backwards cap. Even from here, I could tell he was the type of guy who called himself an influencer, but still asked his parents for rent money. This was the man they sold my car to. I was almost insulted. Then the front door opened and my sister Becca walked out. She was laughing, hanging off his arm like some love-struck teenager. And then, just to twist the knife, she leaned into my Audi's passenger seat and kissed him. Everything clicked into place. This wasn't just some guy. This was her new husband, Brody. The honeymoon. The thing my car had paid for. I ran my tongue over my teeth, resisting the overwhelming urge to just walk up and rip him out of my driver's seat. But I wasn't stupid. I wanted this to hurt. So I pulled out my phone, opened the Audi Connect app, and did the most logical thing I could think of. I locked the doors. The music stopped. The guy in my car looked around, confused. I watched his hand move to the handle. He tried to open it. Nothing. He tried again, harder. Still nothing. He started talking, maybe to Becca, maybe to himself. But I wasn't done. I tapped another button. Engine off. The lights died. The interior went pitch black. I could almost taste his panic from here. Then, just to drive the point home, I tapped one more button and set off the panic alarm. The second the alarm started wailing, I watched my sister and her idiot husband jump like they'd just been hit with a stun gun. The Matrix LEDs strobed violently, the horn blasting through the quiet suburban street in 3-second intervals like a siren from hell. The guy in my car, let's call him Brody the thief, slammed his hands on the wheel, yanking at the door handle with the kind of desperation usually reserved for a sinking ship's. It wouldn't budge. I leaned back in my seat, tapping my fingers against my phone, enjoying the show. Then my sister lost it. "What the hell is happening, Brody?" "I don't know," he snapped, still yanking at the handle like a chimp discovering a locked cage. "The whole thing just shut off. I can't get out." My sister, ever the genius, started kicking the door. Meanwhile, the neighbors' lights flicked on one by one. People were peeking through blinds, stepping onto porches, muttering to each other in the universal language of what the hell is going on. And that's when my phone started vibrating. Incoming call, stepmother. I let it ring. Then my sister tried. Then my dad. Then a text popped up from Regina. "Turn it off now." I smiled. Oh, now they wanted my attention. Another text from Becca. "WTF is wrong with you? You're embarrassing us." Oh, sweetheart, I hadn't even started. I tapped into the Audi's MMI system, enabled the remote voice messaging, and took a slow, satisfied breath before speaking into my phone. "Enjoying the honeymoon, Brody?" Inside the Audi, Brody screamed. Becca shrieked. Their heads whipped around like I was the goddamn ghost of the machine. The alarm kept blaring, the lights kept flashing, and then I delivered the final blow. I tapped one last button. Remote window control. Every window on my RSQ-8 slid down simultaneously. Brody scrambled out of the driver's side like he was escaping a house fire, hitting the pavement so hard I actually winced. My sister just stood there, jaw unhinged, gaping at the car. I could see the math happening in her head. She knew I wasn't done. Not even close. Brody was still on the pavement, blinking up at my SUV like it had personally threatened his life. His Lacoste polo was stretched at the collar, and for a second I thought he might actually cry. I let the silence hang, let them feel it. Then I turned the alarm off. The neighborhood stayed awake. My phone buzzed again. "Regina, you are being insane. Turn off the car." I chuckled, a low, sharp sound. Then I tapped the mic button again. Brody. He flinched like I'd hit him. You still have the title? His eyes darted to my sister, who was definitely realizing she had royally screwed up. I don't know, man, Brody stammered. Your parents... Not my parents. My voice was smooth, even. I took a step closer to the driveway, making sure he felt it. My stepmother who had no legal right to my vehicle, and my father who wouldn't help me if I was on fire. I'll ask again. Do you have the title? His throat bobbed. No. I smiled. Then you don't have a car. His face crumpled. Dude, I paid for this. Oh? I raised an eyebrow. Let me guess. She gave you a family discount. What was it? 15 grand? His silence was confirmation. I whistled. And you didn't think it was weird that a $150,000 Audi RS Q8 was going for the price of a used Honda? His face twisted. She said it was a gift. I laughed. Actually laughed. And you believed that? I turned to my sister. She was still frozen, her eyes darting between me and Brody like she was trying to map out an escape route. You really thought I wouldn't find out? I asked her. She swallowed. Mom said, Oh, I bet she did. Tell me, when you were sipping overpriced cocktails on that honeymoon, did it ever cross your mind? Did it ever even once register that you were spending my money? Her face burned red. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, I exhaled sharply. You let them strip me of my car and my life savings, and then you have the audacity to act surprised when I take it back. Brody, to his credit, stayed quiet. My sister, not so much. You're making this a bigger deal than it needs to be, she snapped. It's just a car. You can buy another one. I stared at her. Really stared. And that's when I realized she didn't regret it. She regretted getting caught. My grip on my phone tightened. Oh, sweetheart, you have no idea how big this is about to get. I took a slow breath. Brody looked like he was reconsidering every life choice that led him to this moment. I was having fun. I turned the alarm back on. The wail of the siren shattered the night again, sending Brody scrambling back. My sister screeched, slapping her hands over her ears. Then, before either of them could say a word, I pulled up the engine settings and scrolled to an option called Immobilizer Lock. With one tap, my Audi became nothing more than a $150,000 lawn ornament. I smirked. Oops, Brody was panting. What did you do? I took back what's mine. The front door of the McMansion slammed open, and there she was. Regina, my stepmother. Robe tied tight, hair in rollers, fury etched into every line of her face. What the hell are you doing? She shrieked. I turned, slow and deliberate. Just picking up my property. She stormed toward me, finger in my face. You are being childish. Your sister needed this. I tilted my head. Needed what? My car, my money, my dignity? She scoffed. You're overreacting. It was just sitting there. It was a waste just being yours. That did it. That broke something in me. I took a step forward, voice low and dangerous. I worked for that car. I earned every cent that paid for it. Unlike you. Unlike her. I gestured to my sister. Oh, don't give me that face. You knew exactly what you were doing. She opened her mouth, but I didn't let her speak. And you? I turned back to my stepmother. You thought you could just take from me again? That I'd just sit back and let you bleed me dry like I'm some ATM? You married into the family. You didn't buy my soul. Her nostrils flared. Watch your tone. Or what? I cut in. You'll steal something else from me. Empty another account. For the first time, she hesitated. I grinned. Yeah, that's what I thought. Brody, who had been wisely silent, decided to ruin it. Dude, I paid for this car. I whipped around. With what title? Show me the papers, Brody. His mouth clamped shut. I took another step. You got scammed. You're not the owner. He swallowed hard, glancing at my sister. She wasn't meeting his eyes. That's when I saw the first crack in his confidence. I smirked. Tell me, Brody, if she lied about where the car came from, what else do you think she lied about? His face paled. My sister whirled on me, furious. Shut the hell up! I just smiled. And that's when my stepmother made the biggest mistake of her life. She jabbed a finger into my chest and hissed, You don't deserve that car. You ungrateful little brat. The second those words left her mouth, I let out a low, dangerous chuckle. Then I leaned in and whispered, That's funny, because tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up with nothing. Her eyes widened. I patted my pocket. My lawyer's number was already dialed. Let the games begin. My stepmother's face drained of color, like her rotting conscience had finally caught up to her. I didn't break eye contact. I just pulled out my phone, made the call, and turned on the speaker. A crisp voice answered. Mr. Sterling, do we have a problem? The shift in energy was immediate. Regina stiffened. My sister flinched. Brody took a step back like I'd just pulled a weapon. I smiled. We do. The line went quiet, then a cool response. Go on. I turned my back on them and strolled toward my car, speaking loud enough for the whole damn neighborhood to hear. I need a fraud report filed against Regina and Maxwell Thorne. I also want my sister Becca, named for knowingly accepting stolen goods. My sister gasped. My stepmother sputtered. I heard the exact moment Brody realized he was screwed because he let out a pathetic little, Wait, what? Understood, my lawyer said smoothly. I assume this is regarding the unauthorized sale of your Audi RSQ8, correct? I leaned against the car. And I want to press full charges, grand theft auto, wire fraud, whatever you can get them on. My stepmother lost it. You can't be serious, she screeched, lunging toward me. We're family, you... I turned around so fast, she stumbled back. Family? I repeated, voice calm, almost amused. That's funny, because I don't remember family stealing from me. I don't remember family draining my account for a honeymoon that wasn't mine. And I sure as hell don't remember family calling me ungrateful for getting pissed that they committed a felony. Her mouth opened and closed. She had nothing. My lawyer spoke again. I'll draft the paperwork tonight. Want me to freeze their accounts in the meantime? I smiled. That would be wonderful. My stepmother gasped. My sister screamed, You can't! I have bills to pay! Brody, ever the genius, whined, Bro, just take the car back and let's call it even. I shot him a look that could have split concrete. Even? You sat your discount frat boy self in my driver's seat and let my family treat me like an ATM. You think this is about a car? His face twitched. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Enjoy being married to her, Brody. Because if she'll do this to her own brother, I wonder what she'll do to you when she needs another payout. My sister turned on me like a rabid animal. You're just jealous. Jealous? I laughed. Sweetheart, I'm about to get my car, my money, and your honeymoon refunded out of your damn savings. Her breath hitched. I leaned in and whispered, Tell me, Becca, how does it feel knowing you'll wake up tomorrow with less than nothing? Her entire world collapsed in real time. My stepmother went deathly quiet, and Brody, that poor dumb bastard, finally realized what was happening. His face went slack. His hands twitched like he wanted to grab my sister, shake her, demand answers. But the damage was already done. My lawyer's voice cut through the silence like a blade. I'll proceed with asset freezing immediately. Expect a police report filed within the hour. Perfect. Send me the paperwork. I'll sign it tonight. A sharp click. The call ended. Then all hell broke loose. My sister lunged at me, nails bared, voice shrieking like a banshee. I stepped back, cool and unbothered. I watched as Brody grabbed her and held her back, but he wasn't doing it for me. No, Brody had finally figured it out. You knew. His voice cracked, veins bulging in his neck as he stared at my sister. You knew the car wasn't yours to sell. Becca froze. Her expression wasn't anger anymore. It was fear. Brody blinked, stunned. You lied to me. You lied. He let her go like she was radioactive and took a massive step back. I almost felt bad for the guy. Almost. He turned to my stepmother, frantic. You. Why? You can fix this, right? Tell him to stop the charges. My stepmother said nothing. The reality was hitting all of them now. They were done. Their accounts locked. The honeymoon they happily scammed me for. Void. I unlocked my car, stepped inside, and slammed the heavy door. The second I started the engine, it roared. Powerful, precise, completely mine again. My sister snapped. I hate you, she screeched, tears running down her face. You're a selfish piece of... I revved the engine loud. Then I rolled down the window, met her tear-streaked eyes, and smirked. No, Becca. I just learned how to stop being your damn wallet. Then I floored it. I didn't look back. By morning, my stepmother would wake up to a $0 balance. My sister would wake up to no honeymoon. And Brody? Well, he'd wake up realizing he married a fraud. I woke up to 148 missed calls. And every single one was music to my ears. If you believe that blood doesn't give anyone a license to steal your future, hit the like button. And make sure to subscribe to Minister of Revenge for the next story of a debt paid in full.